Welcome to another edition of Liter Media Live. I'm Dan Ramey, and this is our special edition featuring Pickaway County, and we have Drew Wichterman with us. He is with the Pickaway County Library. Welcome to Chillicothe.
Thank you very much.
And welcome to Circleville. I guess we should say that, too.
Yeah, thank you.
Our interview today is brought to you by our friends at Kingston National Bank. We'll be back in just a moment right after these words from KNB. Pickaway County is new to you.
It is, yes.
But it's been around a long time, and you've been learning about Pickaway County, haven't you?
I have, yeah. So I've been doing, what we've kind of joked is a lunch tour of the county.
Yeah.
So in addition to meeting county leaders and community members and all those good things, I've been making an effort to travel around the county and see all the nice little lunch spots that are around. So it's been a good way to explore and see the whole county.
I know there was a vacancy for a while with your position, and now that it's filled, I imagine you're getting used to the system and everything, but you're familiar with Pickaway County because of being on the state board, right?
Yes, that's correct. So in one of my positions that's technically within library work, but outside of like actual position work, is I'm a member of the State Library Board of Ohio. And so with that, we serve all libraries, not just public libraries, which is what my current position is under. And so, we look at things like boundaries for where libraries would get their funding. We work with the big, state agency things to make sure that things happen the way they should. We are definitely more of a guidance board, but I am involved in a lot of those higher level things, when you're talking about the whole state of Ohio. So, yes.
And that, how did you end up in that position?
So that was one thing. I started several years ago writing grants, and one of the main sources that I was getting funding from was through the State Library of Ohio. They have a program through federal dollars through, it's called the LSTA, or Library Services Technology Act. And that's a way that I was able to fund things like bringing a technology trainer to the library, help with summer reading programming, and then other programs that were just like interesting new ideas that I needed funding for to try. They have grants available to do those kind of programs. Mm-hmm. And so from there, I then got involved in grant reviewing and then being asked to serve on a committee here, a committee there. And then next step was I wanted to be involved at a higher level, and that's how I was, appointed to the State Library Board.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. I know that the state of Ohio went through a budget crunch here several years ago. In fact, here in the Chillicothe area, we had one of our libraries closed due to that. Everything's back up and running, and tell you, when COVID came, the library became something that everyone craved.
Absolutely. It is amazing to see all the different ways that libraries have pivoted to whether it's the digital technologies, the increasing ebook collections, you name it, libraries have found a way to get it done. And if it was distributing COVID tests, the state government said, who are the people that can get things out to the public? That was the state library, or that was the libraries. So there have been a lot of great ways that we have been able to say, like, we know how to do distribution. We have consortiums across the state that provide resources to everybody anywhere, whether that's academic, public, or whoever. And so we can handle passing out COVID tests. When you look at, no touch or contactless delivery services, we immediately pivoted to that. That took many different forms. And so, we've been able to adapt those services where we're seeing things now that are popular, like pickup windows. Pickaway County has both at each location. So, we really wanted to make sure that in general, library services could still continue, even if they were in a modified form.
Mm-hmm. As a young boy in Pickaway County, I recall trailer park right across the road. The bookmobile would come, and that would give us the opportunity during summertime. And then my research was being done before Google and Encyclopedia Britannica. I would go down to the main library, which at that time was in Memorial Hall. but it has since moved out to where, was it Murphy Mart, I think, at one point in time? And I'm getting a nod here, yes, from Michelle. You weren't around at that time. but you've got a fantastic facility there now, but also added a branch in Asheville as well.
Yes. Yeah, so that was one of the things when I was looking at the next step in my career is I definitely wanted a county system. I was looking for somewhere that had multiple branches and a bookmobile, as you mentioned. I do have previous bookmobile experience. I did work in the outreach department at Dayton Metro Library, and especially in a rural community, that's how you reach the places that can't get to the library. It's a great benefit to be able to get out to the far reaches of the county that way. And then with Asheville and the location there, it's great to have a branch that's just 15 minutes north of the library in Circleville.
Yeah. Is there any potential maybe to look at Williamsport and maybe out in the Tarleton area of having some branches?
Absolutely. I mean, and that's the one thing with COVID is that services have pivoted so dramatically that it could be something that you look at, vending machines for books are becoming more popular. You see the Amazon lockers where you can pick up your ordered items, at the local whatever location. And so, why wouldn't the library be able to do something similar? Another thing, when you partner with like the parks districts, they're offering benches that now have Wi-Fi service, and you can connect directly to library services through the databases or whatever digital content you want by just going to the park. So there's all kinds of options that are available to serve communities that are not quite connected to, more urbanized areas.
Have you been in place long enough to say this is my strategic plan, or are you working on something like that now?
We are looking at possibilities. Full disclosure, I'm only 2 months in. We are looking at some grant opportunities and how we can serve different parts of the population that maybe have been underserved. Yeah. So we are currently exploring those. Not ready to publicly announce any of that stuff, but we are examining some of those things.
We'll have him back when he's ready to talk about that.
Perfect.
The schools are very instrumental in a relationship with the library as well. Each one of them have their own libraries, but you have to really tap into those youth to be able to give them something to keep their interest going, because they won't always have the school library. You've got something coming up soon for the schools, right?
Yes. So one thing we're looking at, and again, another position that I served in with the Dayton Literary Peace Prize. It is an internationally recognized literature award that focuses on peace. And so it's looking at all types of different peoples, cultures, religions, and they award books that, basically have a mission of peace to them. And what we're looking at doing is bringing an author to Pickaway County. Now, this current year, we're kind of doing feelers out because there's a program already in place. But in the future, we are going to host an event here where we bring an author that is an award-winning Dayton Literary Peace Prize author and do educational content around that. So we'll have events where they can do different things. It could be simply a book signing. It could be a conversation with the author. It could be lunch with the author. There will be some kind of large interview, basically, where a moderator has a discussion with the author, and then the students can have like a Q&A with them. So again, we're still looking at all those details of what that might look like, but it is something that we are a bigger project that all the details aren't put together yet, but it will be something coming next fall.
Yeah. I have to think that coming from the Dayton area, where you dealt with inner city situations and things of that sort, how is that related to what you experience in Circleville and in Pickaway County?
Yeah, it's actually very interesting. So in my previous position at Tipp City, the city sizes are about the same. And so working at Dayton Metro, I really did see large inner city things, working with their outreach department. And, every city's going to have their pluses and minuses, their pros and cons. And, you're going to see things that just societally need to be addressed. And there are places where the library can help with those, even if it's using the space for things as simply as community meetings. Conversations that may not be able to happen in other places can happen at the library. So again, those are things that we're still looking at, is how we can help with some of those bigger issues, and looking to see where, either myself or the staff can be involved in those conversations.
Yeah. And having been at Tipp City being relative to Circleville in size, you obviously are primed for what you're going to experience in Circleville.
Absolutely, yes. Small town America is fantastic. I grew up in a town that was about the same size, slightly larger, but you're still going to have the small town feel. Everybody's going to know each other. People are going to grow up together. Cousins are going to be around. Generations of families are going to be in these areas, and so to me, it's just a second home. It's just a place that, like I said, I've grown up in a similar environment, and so I've felt very welcomed by everyone that I've worked with or met, and so I'm looking forward to working with everybody in Pickaway County.
Mm-hmm. Library is really a gateway to the world. You've got all types of books inside, but that medium has changed a lot over with technology. You've got different ways of viewing things from around the world.
Yeah, absolutely. The e-content, as we call it, or digital content, has really continued to explode over the last 10 or 15 years. And so in general, nationally, you're seeing roughly a 15 to 20% increase with digital content usage year after year after year. And it has not showed any signs of slowing down. So at the library, we offer several digital platforms that we can offer patrons. Things like Libby through Overdrive, which is it's basically ebooks and audiobooks with magazines. We've got Hoopla, which is a combination of ebooks, audiobooks, music, TV shows, movies. So it's amazing how the library keeps changing as needs keep changing. And again, that goes back to the library's ability to continue to pivot as the needs change within a community.
And as the library is a connection to the world for people in Pickaway County, what about people outside of Pickaway County? Can they join in and be a part of the Pickaway County Library?
Yeah, so that's the nice thing about Ohio. As long as you have a valid Ohio address, you can get a library card anywhere. So that's just a neat thing that I like to joke that I have at least 5 or 6 library cards because I connect to each different platform digitally to make sure that I can get all the different books from different catalogs from around the state. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of nice to be able to tap into different consortiums and have access to more materials.
As things change technologically, we still have the Dewey Decimal System and everything, right?
We do, yes. Yep.
So that hasn't changed.
It hasn't, correct. Yes.
Yeah, so keeping things, for those of you that are old school, still like to have the book in your hand as opposed to reading things digitally in that respect.
Yeah.
So let me ask you now, you've done this restaurant tour to get to know Pickaway County. You got a favorite, or is that putting you in
Oh, that does put me in a bit of a pickle.
We won't do that to you.
That's all right. I will say that I've enjoyed many restaurants in Pickaway County, so thank you for your service and your food. It's been delicious.
Yeah, I was hearing some of the names of where he's been, and it sounds like you still have some more to visit.
We do, yes.
To see he's not ready to make that decision on what is his actual favorite. So anything that we've missed, you wanted to make sure people were aware of?
I just really wanted to say thank you again to everybody that I've met with so far. I'm meeting with a lot of county level, whether it's departments, agencies, all those people. Everyone's been very welcoming, and I'm very much looking forward to working with everyone in Pickaway County.
Fantastic. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Drew Wichterman, he is the new director of the Pickaway County Library in Pickaway County, of course. And you might see him at the Pumpkin Show next week. You're not going to skip town during Pumpkin Show, right?
I will definitely be there Tuesday night. I've been told that's the time to go.
That's right. Thanks again for watching this special edition of Litter Media featuring Pickaway County. We'll be back again in just a moment with our regular program here on Litter Media Live.